Good morning, Carl Bogar here for Historic Military Impressions, your premier provider of museum quality exhibits to add value to short-term events. Well, as you can see, I'm standing in front of a lot of Roman items. They are on display here as you enter the museum room. These are as historically accurate as we can get to authentic items, and one of the first items ever collected by military personnel was the helmet of a vanquished foe. Because of that, we have large quantities of existing Roman and Greek helmets that we could draw from to determine the validity of examples when they are reproduced. Two of the helmets I'd like to talk about. Let's try not to break anything here. First one, this is in his Imperial Gallic helmet. Would have been the height of the empire from like roughly 100 AD forward. The helmets were classified by a gentleman known as Roberts. The different versions, A, B, C, D, so forth and so on. These are H examples, an H and an I believe. The difference is one of them has a little hanging piece on the back. Realistically, I think it's more credible to say that a lot of early Roman helmets were made in different parts of the world. They get their names, like this is an Imperial Gallic helmet, because they were found first in Gaul, which is modern France / Germany a little bit. And then we recently switched over. That other helmet used to be on this armor, but this is an example of an Imperial Italic helmet made in Italy. It is believed that these came into play around 106 AD after the Dacian Wars, when they added these thick metal crossbars. The Dacians had a type of sword that would come down as curved and pointy so it could strike the helmet and potentially pierce it. So these were added as a form of reinforcement. Eventually, the Gallic helmets were replaced by the Italic style helmets till the end of the empire. We switched it because the armor that we have on display is what's known as Lorica Stigmata plate armor Cambridge pattern B. In other words, the armor that you normally see has a lot of hinges on it, a lot more brass work, a little bit more flexibility. The B pattern, a lot of those hinges are taken away across the breastplate, and it's a little bit more thick, a little more reinforced. Surprisingly, there is a known example of this type of armor. It was actually found, I believe, in a cellar in Britannia, which is now Britain or England. But generally speaking, until recently, all we had was bits and pieces of armor and frescoes showing us theoretically what the armor looked like. And then we have the scutum or the shield. Like I said, we have one historic known example of one that was found in Russia that are based on what they believe to look like. But surprisingly, Roman stuff, there's actually very little written about armor and what they wore. A lot of it's based on frescoes, based on sculpture work. For instance, red wool was based on one written report of a Roman commander ordering basically all the red wool for his legion that was found in Judea that was ordered back to Rome. So he had to bring his legion back up to par before they go back into basically off the frontiers back into the main heart of the empire. So a lot of what we believe we know about Roman history and armor is actually a lot of speculation, archaeological finds, bits and pieces, guesses. Very little actually written. Like originally it was thought that all Romans wore red tunics. Now we realize that they could have worn different colors. It's not possible to think that instead of them all having red shields, they might have had shields that were unique colored to their particular legion, like blue or green or purple. Frescoes show the tunics actually being anything from a white to purple. A lot of common grays. I think the grays are actually white tunics that got dirty. Because remember, if you were a citizen of Rome and you went into the actual legion, a lot of this kit you had to buy yourself. So if you're a young man, red wool might be a little bit more expensive than a white wool tunic. So if you want to check it out, like I said, these items are on more of a permanent display. Primarily because my wife wanted them out of the basement because they were in her way taking the laundry down. So they got moved here. Even though the rest of the museum room, it changes out every 3 months with our next exhibit opening in February, camouflage pattern from around the world. This entranceway where you have some Roman armor, you have a nice Greek hoplite helmet that's so close to authentic. People keep trying to buy it from me. And then you have some ordnance items as you enter the museum hallway as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, the British exhibit is still open for a little bit more than a month. And for today, this is Carl Bogar signing off for Historic Military Impressions and Kenosha Military Surplus located in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And as always, please like, share, subscribe to our videos, share them with your friends, help us build an audience. And until next time, I hope you have a great week.